Hi everyone, Kusamo Designs here, and this is part 2 of the Tamiya 135th scale M4A4 build. So we've done quite a bit of work since part 1. As you can tell, we got a lot of it painted and detailed a little bit, but I'm going to be telling you what we've done. And again, this one's been quite tricky to do, especially with the the lack of photos there of the M4A4, at least on the American side. Now it seems like there's a lot of British and Canadian type photos of this one, but I'm going to be doing the American version of this one. But I'm working off a couple photos. But this one has been a tricky one, but a lot of fun, right? Especially when you're doing conversions, because this one here, this model kit, it says early, but it's not really early production. So we're going for the late production M4, and I'm going to show you what we've done since part 1. So right off the bat, I want to show you how well this painted up, because in part 1 you've seen it, this piece was all white and this was gold in color, and it didn't look really nice, and this was all chopped up. Now that's been painted and clear coated and a little bit of the shading and stuff, I think it looks really good. So you guys be the judge. And even though you can see where the parts were and it's a bit damaged, it kind of just looks like the cast of the tank, especially how they were built back then. So I'm not even worried about it. And once we start getting the details and mud and guck and stuff on there, it's gonna look great. So I'm very happy with the way that turned out. Now another thing that it was kind of an oversight on my part, and I didn't even notice it, and it was staring me in the face the whole time, was this rear section right here. I corrected it now, but this whole rear back panel right here. Now I had already painted this up, did some shading and a clear coat, and I realized I had placed the wrong panel on. So this piece right here, this comes with the kit. This kit right here, this is the one it comes with. Now it's correct, I suppose, for the kit right here, but this is not for the M4A4. So I had already glued this on, painted it, detailed it, and then I realized it was wrong, especially for the the variant that I'm building. So I spent the better part of 2 hours ripping this off my tank, trying not to wreck anything, right? And I did it, thankfully. Now I didn't have any correct size of sprue or anything like that, or I shouldn't say sprue, but what do you call it? Styrene, in this thickness. So I actually took one of my older kits right here, and you have to make sure you have the right size of hull. Not just any old M4 hull will do, because they are shaped differently. So I actually cannibalized one of my older M4 kits to get this piece, and then I had to do even more shaping to get it just so. Let me see if I can get more light on here. Let's see if I can get some more light for you guys. There we go. So after about 5 hours in total worth of work, I got it replaced. So that I basically got this off, right, and then got the correct panel in. So thankfully that worked out, and now it's correct for the most part to the M4A4. So crisis averted as far as that goes. And now we can kind of move on, and then looks to me like I'm gonna have to work with this piece right here, that's in the down position. So if I don't quite get that built the way I want it, I can always have it in the up position and then have the rear of the tank exposed. So I'm not really concerned with that. So we'll see how that goes. But as you can tell, that was a major piece. So moving on to the turret, as you can tell, we got more detail on there. We have the periscope guard on there, and it is correct as far as this variant goes. You know, obviously the detail in here that we have covered, it's, you know, painted over. Now moving on to the weapon itself, that is an aftermarket piece. The instructions call for you to build, you know, all the innards. Now, if you are using the aftermarket barrel, you're bypassing all this. So you don't even bother building this. So what you're doing is you're basically making that hole bigger, right? This is one of the ones that failed. You're gonna, as you can see, it's cracked here, but I'm just gonna re-glue this, and I might be able to use this piece at a later date. So I actually just took another one from another kit, and you're making that hole bigger so you can accommodate your aftermarket barrel right here. The Asuka ones will fit. You just have to make, you know, that hole a little bit bigger and put it in from the back side, because it won't fit. You know, you can't just put this straight on like this, because it's too wide for, you know, to go in between these two guards. So you got to put it in from the back, and you got to push. That's why there's so much stress on the plastic, as you can see. But you can't make the hole bigger, otherwise you're going to start cutting into your guards and some detail. But it does work, as you can clearly see here. And I'm not too worried about the stress, you know, the white, you know, stress here, because it's painted over. So it does work. However, the downside is you are going to have to pick a position of the weapon, because without this here, you're losing the ability for your weapon to move. So you're going to pick a position of, you know, your weapon. The turret still, you know, traverses, but your weapon doesn't go up and down. So whatever. I like the aftermarket barrels. Now the kit barrel with this, you know, it's one piece, right? So you're not going to have that seam line, which is fine, but it has that little tip that you have to glue on, which, you know, looks ugly, right? Like right here. So I don't like that. And then you got to sand that. So I like the aftermarket barrels. So, but anyway, it's coming along real nice. I got, you know, the little barrel for the machine gun to go right in there. That's going to come at a later date. We're going to start working on the lower hull, things like that. As you can see, I have the spotlight in now. That's something that does not come with this model kit. You're going to have to add that in yourself if you're going to attempt the M4A4, especially this variant. Again, I'm going off of historical photos. It does have it, so that's that. At least the variant that I'm building, I'm going off of that picture, right? So there we go. But that was a major catch, right? So again, you're gonna have to either get a piece of styrene and cut it to, you know, the correct size. Now it could be avoided. Again, that whole thing, had I noticed it earlier, all I would have to do is just not glue this in, and then you would have easily caught that. So don't think that's going to be a lot of work. I just made it more work for myself. So there we go. The M4A4 is definitely coming along. I'm very happy with how it's turning out. Again, it doesn't look anything like the box now. Another thing that I noticed lastly is in the historical picture that I have is it has a travel lock for the barrel. So that's something I'm going to be adding on to, is a few pieces here and then a travel lock. Again, something that does not come with that kit. But the historical picture that I have does have a travel lock. So it's something else I'll be adding to this model. So in the end, we're going to have a completely different tank. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and let me know what you think. I look forward to your comments, and it helps me keep, you know, lets me know that I'm on the right track here. So thanks so much, guys. Bye.